Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Taryn Swears. This one, holds super tight to my heart because you guys get to meet one of my very near and dear friends. In fact, this friend is the one that really encouraged me and pushed me to start my podcast. So I can hardly wait for you guys to just suck feel that energy that comes out of Krissi when she talks. So let me give you a little background on Krissi because we talked before we set things off here is that I've got to really kind of tone it down a bit so I can truly articulate this chick's professional background because she is legit. I mean, not only does she have a laundry list of professional attributes, but she is one that is going to light a fire under your ass because we're talking about mindset today. Krissi's got this staple conversation that you literally could listen to on repeat. Talking about a four-letter word. You guys might be surprised. It's not a swear word, but a four-letter word that we all need to remove from our vocabulary. And she's going to break it down, how it came to, what it means, and really how we can apply that to our day-to-day. And you know what? We're all likely moms, and Krissi is a mom. She's got two beautiful girls, and they are just the lights of her life, in addition to her amazing husband, Mark, who's probably her number one fan. I might be number two, or maybe, five, because I'm sure her daughters, get to rise above me. But but Krissi is, I swear to God, she is your most loyal friend, biggest support, and like hype girl to no end. Like I said, you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast if it wasn't for her. Her knack for marketing and really truly articulating your individual vision is it's such a unique trait, and Krissi was born with it. So let me give you a little bit of her background because I really do want to make sure you guys understand how she's just so good at what she does. But she's been in the marketing and advertising industry for 3 fucking decades, and she's only 32. So I mean, how she does that, I don't know.
Yes.
Right? Okay, good math. And during her 3 decades, she's been consulting with the top Fortune 50 companies. So you just need to go and read your Forbes magazine. I'm pretty sure she's worked with majority of them. She's currently working with one of the largest high-tech companies, program manager, product, right? Currently?
Oh, project manager.
Project manager. See, I like to kind of make up new titles.
Program project.
Details, potato. And one of her really great talents, she's a serial entrepreneur. She's been one forever, since she was a teenager. And I'm really excited because she's the gal behind CheekyBoom. So this is the Krissi Thomas, you guys. I don't think you really truly get who you are going to be listening to, but she's the one behind CheekyBoom. I should have worn all of them today.
That would have been awesome.
I would have like Mr. T. But she's got such a talent and just craft for words. And this is why I'm excited about this piece. We're going to be talking specifically about mindset because you know what? We are midway through January. And I think it's really easy for us to have come out, guns a-blazing, totally stoked to accomplish this, that, and the other. And then, you know what? Things go south, something interrupts our schedule that we weren't expecting, or we get this immediate doubt and fear that sets in. So we're going to flip the script on that. And Krissi's going to help us get through it all. So if you guys have a pen and paper, I highly suggest you get one. If you're driving, don't worry about it. You know what? Stay safe. All right. Both hands on the wheels, 10 and 2. So with that, Krissi, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know you are super busy. So I feel
thanks for having me. This is super fun.
It is super fun. It's like a little gab sesh with your bestie.
I know, this is so amazing because I love that you're doing this, and that thank you for giving me some cred for doing it too.
Well, shit, I don't think I had the balls to do it without you going, girl, do it. And then, I'm like, hey, how about this for my podcast cover? And you're like, no, that is way too much. And so Krissi's great like that because, she does it with a lot of love, but she's, been in this industry for so long to know exactly what,
So wrong.
what people are looking for and what they're not looking for, and when, you need to kind of tame the dragon. So, but I would love for you just to kind of, start from the beginning, like who you are, what kind of molded you and got you to this energetic, spunky Krissi that we know and love behind CheekyBoom.
So funny. Well, I think I was born that way. I know that my parents would certainly tell you that because that's why they put me in gymnastics. They were tired of me bouncing off the walls. And I'm sure any parent listening probably has a kid like that. Tame that energy down into something else. So I have two older brothers. They pretty much, and they're much older than I am. So, wanted to be like them. And I also wanted to be big and bad like them. So kind of a pit bull like, and all that energy just kept flowing and flowing. And my mom was always my biggest cheerleader. She was the one that we'll talk about a little bit later that said this four-letter word is not going to be used in the house. And if it is, you are in big ass trouble. Well, big trouble. The word is can't. So put that in the parking lot because we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so fast forward, I'm doing gymnastics. I'm living out a career really because I was, competing like all the time, working out 6 days a week. I mean, it was insane. And then my mom got sick when I was about 14, and I'll spare you all the details, but she passed away when I was 15. And that was so hard, obviously. Anyone who loses anyone in their life, especially a parent at a young age, it's devastating. And, I had family around me, and I wasn't left alone. However, I had 3 guys in my family, 3 dudes, like dudes. And here I am, really a tomboy at the time, totally athletic jock, and just trying to navigate, how do I get through high school? So that being said, that 4-letter word can't, which we were not allowed to say, and I still, catch myself saying it, I got to check myself, is that you can do anything. And so I had to take all of those lessons, those 15 years that I had with my dear mama, and say, you know what, I got this. She wouldn't want me sitting around being a bump on a log. She would say, get up, go, do your thing. So I decided to move down to California and live with my aunt, my mom's oldest sister. She had a gymnastics academy, and that is where I was really shining in my gymnastics career until injury took over. So I coached, I did the very best I could, and then I just kept going. So I'm gonna kind of stop right there and say that is that moment in time for me, Taryn, or moments, those years, they were so formative because, stop for a second. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I couldn't even imagine her just being off on her own and doing all the things. And
God, that's wild when you say that and you put it into that perspective, like that
easily.
hits different.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's really like, a mom of daughters. It's just like, whoa. So I, so I get through high school. I decided, you know what, I'm going to college. I'm going to do it all on my own. I didn't have the support that I wish that I had, but that's okay because I had this mindset that I can do anything I put my mind to. And I was one of those weirdos that just knew I wanted to be in advertising when I was like in 6th grade. I have no idea why. I just loved ads and all the creative stuff. And I was like, I'm going to do that. So I went to Wazoo and got through school in 3 years and said, I want to get out and I want to start working. So I went, go Cougs.
Go Cougs. That's another thing that we had in common before. And we knew like it was instant. We were both Cougs.
That's right. I mean, come on. Crazy.
Yep.
So that's what I did. I went and I started out my advertising career straight away in the agencies in Seattle, then moved on to San Francisco, and then came back and ultimately ended up on the client side. So been working with all of these Fortune 50 companies, all the way to small business and helping advise and helping them understand what their objectives are and how do we achieve them? Who is your audience? How do we talk to them? And really, when you start to think about that and the way my life was framed, it's all relative. The way I speak to my clients, today even is very much that, yes, we can. I like to remind my clients that we are not like solving world peace with the work that I do. So everything's going to be fine. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to move forward, even though we have a challenge ahead of us. It's okay. I think patience is a big part of it, which I had to learn. Trust me, I am not patient, and I still to this day have to check myself and reel myself in. Taryn, you know, because I was trying to work out this weekend and I wanted to do like 55 workouts in a row, and I did 2. And now I'm like, it hurts. Anyway.
Well, we humbled you. We humbled you, you know, and that's always a good step back. Say, okay, I am not my 15-year-old self anymore.
No, no. 50 is harder to do 55 workouts in a row. But anyway, I digress. So I'm kind of all over the place, you know, young kid into college, now into my career. And the thing is, I just, as a creative person or being in a creative space, you constantly, you know, your brain is ongoing. Can you guys see this? Dear brain, please shut up. Like, this is me. My daughter got that for me, actually.
I think a lot of us could probably relate to that, you know, and I've been staring at it, like looking up over your head, because I'm like, my brain, I think a lot of people can go, holy shit,
right? This is a vision board. Do you guys see, like, there's barely any pictures on there. It's all words. This is my brain, all words.
And if you guys can't see it, then you got to go to YouTube, because we will post a video there. We'll be streaming this on YouTube. But for those of you who are listening, just envision a really cool plaque above Krissi's head, and it says, "Dear brain, please shut up." And I think that is the most relatable sign that any parent could probably understand most, because we're always thinking, you know, our brains barely shut off before we go to bed. Right? So I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And so, you know, kind of going back to that creativity, I've been an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to do something, whether it was like, let's recycle newspapers, because that's what we used to do in, you know, my generation. And how can I make some money, or what can I do? So that all just led me down this path as I got into the client side, which I really love, because you get to work way more on the business side of things versus just the creative side. So that's where I kind of fell in love. Really, I find client-based work very rewarding. And but sometimes when you're working with a client that's, well, let's just say that the subject matter can be kind of dry. Cloud marketing is not always the most exciting. It can be, but not always. So that my snarkiness, my cheekiness, I started doing these greeting cards, and they were kind that you wouldn't find in the store. I think you do now, but when I started this back in, like, I don't know, 15 or so, 2015, like, you never see fuck on a card. And if you did, I don't know where you were going to find it. And so my bestseller to this day is, hey, you're pretty fucking awesome. Keep that shit up. Seriously. To this day, that's the best selling card. And
they are the best cards. They are.
It's so fun, right?
Them. Yeah, they're great.
So it was this cathartic thing that I would do on the side in my office while I was working with my clients and doing my contracts and all that. And next thing you know, I threw it up on Etsy, and next thing you know, people are buying them. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know? So all of that led to this idea that I really do love words. I like to inspire people. I advise my clients on their business, and I inspire them. I mean, I think that's why you're listening to this podcast right now, and that just like warms my heart. So it's kind of like, I'm your coach, and I like to your mindset coach, to say that you can do it. So bringing that all back, I'm still doing what I love to do, which is work on the client side. That's kind of my full-time gig. But at the same time, that entrepreneurial spirit led me down a path with lots of mentors guiding me along the way to create something called CheekyBoom. And the idea is be bold, live loud. That's like, let that sink in for a second. It's not to yell and yell loud. It's that you need to be bold in your life, and you need to live your life in a loud way, meaning make impact. My whole goal with CheekyBoom is to make a positive impact on someone's life. I like to look at my products as gifts that you can give to your besties, your cousins, your aunts, your moms, whoever, any special woman in your life that needs a pick me up, a swift kick in the ass, whatever it is, but it's all through inspiring words. And I use jewelry to anchor those words as a token that you can wear, close to your heart and close to your throat chakra, which, by the way, is the chakra of communication and trust. So you're putting trust in yourself. And so that's where I'm leading down this path of, I've been working on it for a while. And Taryn, I know, thank you for being such a huge fan. You're like my big fan. And that whole mindset thing comes back to this, because I'm like, y'all, I am not a jewelry designer, but I know something about creativity and the creative process. And I also know about being resourceful. So I'm like, well, I'll just figure it out. I have no idea where to go, but you've got Google and Bing and all the other search engines, and you go on there and you start going, how do I get jewelry made? What if I want to design it? Where do I go? What do I do? How do I keep it in the US? Where do I find packaging? And I just had this idea that I can do it, because mom is looking over me all of the time, telling me that I can, no matter how hard it is, no matter how frustrating it is, no matter how many mess ups that you do. Because trust me, look, I'm failing all the time. And I get back up, wipe it off and go, let's do it. Let's go again. And, it's a very big lesson that I give my kids too. So, when I think about mindset and the word can't, we need to, as Taryn said at the beginning of this podcast, you do need to remove it from your vernacular. You have to remove it, because when you use that word, you've already given up. And I'm a big believer in failure, you guys, because failure is your first attempt in learning. Like, you have to fail to succeed. So when you say that 4-letter word, you've already just given up, instead of saying, all right, I'm not sure that I know how to do this right now, but I'm going to research. I'm going to keep going back to the gym. I'm going to keep trying out my food. I'm going to try to be a better wife, whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's better at your job. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the subject is. If you can just move in that 1% of getting better every day. I mean, think about that. That's like, wouldn't that add up to like 365% better after a year? If you did like 1%. I mean, I'm not a math person, but let's just say you added it up.
Those are pretty dope odds, I will say.
I mean, but when you think that way and you think that you can, you're living from a place of abundance. You're not living from a place of lack. And so many people find themselves in this lack mentality. So think of your words, which again goes back to CheekyBoom. I mean, I write every single thing that you see on that website and every single product. I write all of it with pure intention. And that is how we have to train our brains, because if you don't train your brain with the right words, your brain will listen to what you tell it, right? I'm fat. Well, shit, then you're going to be fat. If you're skinny and I'm dope, then I'm skinny and I'm dope. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Amen, sister. Amen.
I mean,
fucking
you know
love
what
that.
I mean? So I think like I think I'm yelling, by the way. And sorry if I am, because I get so jacked up.
No, you know what? That's your energy. And that is the most authentic part to you, is your energy. Just like my authentic part is my trucker mouth. So I think we have a really good synergy
Another
here.
bonding experience. That's how we bond.
Yes.
But yeah, so you guys, when we're talking about all of this, I just want to say that everything that you do in life, whether you journal in the morning, you get up and you have to go to a job, you're parenting, you're the wife, whatever, just know that you always can be better at it if you train your brain to keep telling yourself that you can. And I reframe things all the time. Let me tell you what, my daughters are in that stage of their life where they have got some serious attitudes. And let me tell you, I will check them so fast. And I'm like, wait, what'd you say? They'll use the C word. Wait, what'd you say? And then they'll say it again. I'm sorry, I can't hear what. Oopsie, I just said, I'm not able to hear you. What was that again? And then I'll do it like 5 times and they get so irritated with me. So funny. Then they finally realize, oh, I mean, I can, I just don't want to do it right now. I'm like, okay, we just got somewhere. So that takes patience, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy to lash out at anybody, to be, you know, reactive to anybody. The key is to recognize the situation that you're in and realize where you want that outcome to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so with my girls, for example, when they come in with nasty attitudes, I mean, like, first thing I ask them to do is take a deep breath, like, whoa, what's happening? Let's just calm the system down and now talk to me. And they're all mad, like, whoa, okay, hold up, wait a minute. Why? How did that make you feel? It's kind of like Coach Krissi, psychologist Krissi. And it takes so much time, and I don't have a lot of time. I mean, we all have plenty of time. I've got a lot of stuff going on, like everybody else listening to this podcast. But again, I think that's the mindset training. Like, I want the outcome to be for my daughters to recognize, hey, I don't feel great right now. I've got a shitty attitude and I need to check myself. So I want to take the time to make sure that they understand this is how they feel, but why do they feel that way? And then they can be empowered. So when they start to feel those things inside, because it starts physiologically. Okay, yes, thank you. That's where it starts. When you guys are feeling a certain way, whether it's good or bad, it will start inside your body first. If you recognize that, then you can easily walk into any situation and calm yourself. Because, you know, if you get butterflies, you know, you're nervous, and sometimes that's a great thing to have, right? You need that adrenaline to move you. But if you find yourself getting anxious because you're walking into a meeting or into a discussion with somebody that is threatening, or you just don't like, or something like that, you need to check yourself and take some deep breaths, because when you do, you will calm your system down and you'll be able to move through that with grace. So I'm sure I'm all over the board here, but that's kind of how I am. And you just have to understand the pinball machine that I am.
But you know what? It makes so much sense. So just, I want to go back to and emphasize the word can't. And the way I see it in my line of work, so working with women and understanding their hormones and mostly honing in on their nutrition, right? And I just had a conversation actually yesterday with somebody that has never tracked their food before, and they've never really wanted to, and because it made it feel restrictive. And so what I caught her saying is, I can't track. And I was like, well, why can't you? And what it came down to is that it was more of an excuse because they didn't want to own the foods that they were actually eating, and that was the result of the problem. So it almost brought up this awareness of, well, so, you know, it just becomes an excuse. And I really see that in words that come out of people's mouth. I can't do that. Well, why can't you? You know, so that challenge, that pushback. So I really feel like that word, it's so easy to roll into everyday life and sentencing. And we don't mean to be self-limiting. However, I do believe that it is the immediate barrier that we'll place for ourselves, because it almost offers that buffer of comfort, which is strange because I don't know why we find comfort in being limited, but because it doesn't get it. Yeah, like we don't want to get out of our comfort zone. And so that negative, or that restrictive mentality, or that excuse mentality of not being able to do something, it's rooted probably back to our childhood. Somewhere along the lines, we were never given the confidence and the support to know we can do it. And you had that instilled with you at a really young age with your mom, which is fantastic. So if you were to, you know, try and reframe the adult mind, and somebody that's sitting here listening and saying, God, I say I can't all the time, and I can't do this, and that is definitely an excuse. It's on me. First, I think the first step is that we have to own what our excuses are, what our limiting beliefs are, right? Because it's the only way we're going to be able to reframe the mindset. I took a couple psychology classes at Wazoo. I feel like I could be like a therapist.
Coach T-Boss.
Yes. But if you were to sit down with a woman and she's 9 ways to breakfast because her kids are this, she's got teenagers that come back with the attitudes, but yet she's got some things that she needs to work on for herself, whether she wants to start a business, wants to get her life together, wants to lose weight, whatever it is, and constantly has these limiting beliefs, this I can't persona. How would you help her reframe and rewire that whole thought process? What would you take her through?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think the first thing that I always want to understand, and this actually is rooted back in my professional career too, is the why. When women come to you, Taryn, there is a reason they come to you, even if they're not maybe ready, right? They come to you and then they give you an excuse. So my big thing is, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to lift weights? Why do you want to be more organized? It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be the most mundane thing, but the why is the most important question that we all need to ask ourselves. Because if you are not able to answer that with 100% certainty, you will never anchor yourself back to that reason. My why of everything I do is my mom, because of what she instilled in me. She doesn't get a chance to do anything anymore because she's up in heaven. So let that sink in for a second, right? Why do you want to do this thing? And if you are going to spend money or time with someone to have them help you and coach you and mentor you along, you better be ready. And you better be ready to take the information that they're giving you as experts in that field and go, okay, let me digest this, let me understand this, and let me go back to my journal or wherever you like to kind of write your ideas down and blast it down as fast and furious as you can. Because what you'll find is that there will be a pattern. I like to do this thing called free flow writing, where it doesn't make any sense. You're just writing anything that comes out. And what you'll find are patterns of what you want, what you desire, what you wish for. Well, now go and prioritize those things and start breaking those words down and those wishes down. And then you'll start to, if you prioritize them, you will start to put those to the top of the list, right? So, a situation with me, Taryn, you know about this, is that I've dealt with some very interesting health issues, just really strange ones. Now, I mean, I've always been a very healthy person, but like, why am I not able to lose weight? Or why am I always sore? Or just these weird things. And I'm one of those people that will dig in and do anything. And I will just be a sponge to anybody who's giving me information. And then I finally found somebody who could really break it down and explain what's happening to me on something I had never heard in all of these years, decades of me trying to figure it out. And guess what? 20 pounds less later, I'm like, whoa, there was some weird shit going on in my body. And I have now like gotten rid of it. And it's amazing. So my point with that is, if you're not a sponge to those people that you are asking for help from, so let's take Taryn, you're coming to Taryn because she's an expert in the field that she does. She knows her shit. Like, don't tell her that you can't do something. That's bullshit. Yes, you can. You came to her and you're going to spend money with her and your time. Fuck that. Yes, you can. So anchor yourself in the why. If you're doing this because you want to be able to play with your kids and go skiing with your kids or whatever activities you do, that's a very strong why. If you want to do this because you just want to feel this, whatever it is, you just want to feel alive, anchor yourself in that. And that's what you always remember. You go back to that why every single time and you go, that's why I'm doing it. And I see the sign behind you, Taryn, that says gratitude. That is family and love, my favorite of all time.
I love those. Those are my favorite.
Those are so amazing. When you anchor yourself in a why, you find gratitude in that. If you got to wake up this morning, dude, you're winning the game. In case you didn't know, you won the game because you got another chance. And life is fleeting. I mean, 15 years old to lose your best friend. My mom was funny as hell. Silliest thing you'd ever meet in your life. She was, I'm very short and she was shorter than me. I'm 5'2". My mom was not even 5 feet tall. So we were like fun size people.
Oh my God.
So that's, you know, um, and so I think um, if I had a chance to talk with any woman, and I do this a lot. I actually did this with a mutual friend of ours, Taryn, recently, who is thinking about starting a business and in her trade. And there was a lot of negative energy in there. And I just kept pulling it out. Wait a minute, hold up. Well, I don't do this, but I did this. I'm like, but aren't your skills transferable? See, that's shifting the mindset. Just because you only did it this one way doesn't mean you are not able to do it another way. You see what I'm saying? So it's really, really important to anchor to a why. And that's the first thing that I will always ask people. Like, why did you want to do this podcast? What was it for? Was it just to shoot the shit with people, or was it to like really educate people and interview other people who have amazing backgrounds? Because your podcasts are amazing. You know, these are awesome people you have on. I think I'm pretty awesome too.
Oh, but, you are. You are. Top of the list. Awesome.
I swear to God. But yeah, you know, it's like you have to, Taryn, I'm sure life gets thrown at you, you know, kids end up at home and you're like, please don't cry in the background. My dog is right here. I'm like, please don't bark, you know, but so what? Like, that's real life.
So what? Yep.
And you just keep going. And when, again, going back to the why, going back to an abundance mindset, if you come from a place of abundance, like the world's yours, it really is. Put that out into the universe, it will come back to you. Those vibes are out there for all to see. And I also believe too that when you lead with a positive attitude, and I've gotten a lot of pushback over the years of this, and I realized over time, you know, it's like, well, that's your problem, not mine. If you have a problem with my positive attitude and energy, bye.
Yeah,
bye.
That's on them.
You know, it's on them, and they're coming from a place of insecurity, of lack. Something happened, they're jealous, whatever it is. And, you know, it's sad because I will always lead from a place of positivity. I will take the worst situation, and I've had a lot of really bad situations in my life, and flip them around, just reframe them and go, nope, I got this. Let's go. But like, I don't have time for this, you know, woe is me, Debbie Downer shit. I need to make the change and get going. So that is mindset training at its very best. Anyone can do this. Nobody should be sitting here listening to this going, oh, well, you just have all this energy, Krissi. So like, it's easy for you. No, it's not. No, it's not. At 50 years old, almost 51, I am sitting here and I like by 9 o'clock, I can barely keep my eyes open and I have so many things to do. And I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? Sleep is really important to me. So I prioritize that. And things get harder as you get older for whatever reason, more responsibility or whatever, but you also get wiser.
Yes, you do. And you share some of that wiseness with myself. So, and everybody else that you get to, you know, place yourself in front of, which is such a gift, you know, like very few people have that, and you just innately have that talent. But I did want to go, I wanted to revisit the why, because I feel like everyone's heard like, okay, what's your why? You know, I remember when I started in MLM, and we'd have all these amazing personal development coaches and mentors that would get up on stage and talk about, you know, why are you doing this? You know, and most, you know, I think probably a lot of people go, I need the money, like, duh.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not slinging shit for free. I need money, right? So I need financial security. So you've mentioned, you know, finding your why, but also that free flow writing, which I call brain dump. And same thing. So when someone asks what your why is, and I want to kind of challenge you guys that are listening or watching this on YouTube, it's, you know, if your goal is weight loss, you know, that's my field. So let's talk about that for a second. Your goal is weight loss, or your goal is to get stronger. And you know, someone like Krissi says, well, why? Right? Well, because I should be, you know, like you have to get emotional. So that why has to be an emotional requirement for yourself in order to fulfill that and accomplish it. Because anybody can say, I want to lose weight. Well, why? because society says you should, because you see somebody on Instagram and you want to look like them? Like, what does that resolve internally? So
Right.
I really push clients that tell me that they want to lose weight, and I ask them why. What would it mean? Like, what is your end result? Now, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, why?
Mhm.
Because I don't feel, I think it'll resolve my hormones. Well, it may or may not, but why is that 10 pounds? What does that number mean?
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
it
yeah.
attached to? Like you said, what is it attached to? There has to
Mhm.
be an authenticity to the process in
Mhm.
owning the emotional state behind this why. And why that 10 pounds or whatever it might be, what
Mhm.
is it actually going to mean? Is it going to mean you'll be able to go skiing with your kids? Does it mean that you can get down and off the floor with ease? Does it mean it'll hopefully resolve joint pain? Does it going to restore your metabolism? Do you think that your hormones are going to be balanced? Do you think you're going to sleep better because you don't get jack shit for sleep? And if you
Mhm.
don't, you better prioritize it. A lot of people don't. So
Exactly.
revisiting that why, and sometimes we don't know what it is, right? We just think that, oh, it's January, so I'm going to try and lose the weight that I gained maybe the
Yeah.
last
And
quarter of
that's
the year.
that right there. Two things that you said during that, Taryn. The word should, that's almost like another one. Take that shit out of your vocabulary too. You shouldn't do anything unless you want to do something. There is no should. Like I catch myself, I try very hard never to say that to anyone in my family. I never, if I say you should, I'm like, wait, hold on, let me reframe. You know what would be cool is if, because should is a negative word in our society. So that's number one. Try, the word try is another thing. People don't really get it, but that gives you an out. If you
Totally.
say, I'm going to go try to work out, I'm going to go try to do this thing, I'm going to try to build a business, whatever. Well, so then if you don't, like, what's your, so then what? Try isn't there. That's a word that just says, oh, I have an out. I want to, I will do, I am going to, you see what I mean? So that's where the words come back. So again, like it seems so mundane, you guys, we use these words all of the time. But when you start to like reframe that and think about it, you'll catch yourself and go, nope. Because I'm never going to tell my kids what they should do ever. I'm like, make good choices, girls. I think it'd be cool if you did this, but that's on you.
Unless it's to pick their shit up off their floor. Like
Oh
I'm
no,
gonna tell
even
my
that.
kids,
I'm like,
like,
I just well, I've given up on that. Actually, there is some things that I will give up on, and that might be one of them. One of my daughters, I'm like, unless somebody's coming over. um, no, but you can see how just the smallest shift in a word can change your mindset. We've talked about just little words here and there that make very big impacts over time,
they're
so
powerful,
they're
especially the
so
negative
powerful.
ones.
Yes.
You lock them in your head when you look in the mirror and you tell yourself all these stupid things that aren't true,
Yep.
and somehow you believe them. That's really powerful. And where is it coming from? What's the root of
That's
those
right.
words? And where is
Mhm.
the permission to believe it? Like, why are you believing some of that bullshit? And that's really, I think, a powerful movement out of that negativity and out of that excuse mindset of the I can't, I
Mhm.
should, I'm gonna try,
Mhm.
removing those small words, and also being really mindful for those of us that are parents that have impressionable
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
They're always listening. And so this is a conversation that I actually have with my third. She is, really quick to be like, I can't do it. Like she's tying her shoes. I can't do it. Or
Mm.
something's wrong with the shoe that's
Mhm.
tied. I mean, fuck, I've tied it 4 times, but it's not good enough, So I'm always consistently saying, well, what's the solution? Let's find the
There
solution.
you
So if
go.
you're unhappy living in misery because of XYZ, you hate your job and you want to get out of it, okay,
Mhm.
what's the solution? What are you
That's
going
right.
to do about it? You want to lose weight, you feeling unhappy, unhealthy, your sleep sucks, your hormones are all over the place. You know that there's something, like, Krissi, you share that you just knew that there was something misfiring. You couldn't quite understand why you couldn't lose weight, but there you had to do a deeper dive,
Mhm.
right? So what are those things that you need to know to be able to get to where you want to be and find the solution? instead of sitting there and complaining in misery. That's basically, people are going to go, well, tired of your fucking shit. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden you stop getting invited places.
Right.
People
Oh,
stop
hell yes.
showing up and,
Yeah.
wanting to do things for you because they get tired of that negativity. They get tired of it.
Yeah.
It's
And that
everywhere.
shows you the energy. That shows you the energy that bounces around in a room. You ever walk into a room and you're like, ooh, I'm not sure I like this very much. And you want to
Yes.
just walk away, or you go into the room and you're like, oh yeah, let's go party. You know, that's shit's real. Energy bounces off of all of us, which again goes back to like, lead with positivity, lead with the positive words, and find those root reasons. I think on one of your podcasts, Taryn, you had said, you're like an investigator, like when it comes to your nutrition, your food tracking, and all that kind of stuff. It's use all of these things as tools. Don't use them as, weapons of destruction, and like the scale, I'll use that. You had been pushing me to get a scale for as long as I can remember. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. And you know why? The reason why is because in my gymnastics career, it was during the times, it was a horrible experience.
Yep.
I mean, we got in trouble every single time we got on that scale because maybe we gained a pound. I mean, shit, we were teenagers. I was 12 years old getting slammed going, go do more conditioning because you gained a pound. Hello, I'm a growing girl.
Right.
Probably going to gain some weight, but that was the blocker for me. Now, that was very simple for me to go back in time, but it took me a minute to kind of go, that's why I don't need anybody's scale, because what did I remember? My brain was remembering the negativity that it brought to me, that you don't get to compete if you don't hit this weight. That's bullshit, And so, but now I use it as a tool, and I didn't even know I had lost weight. I got on there, I was like, oh, what? Holy shit, this is pretty cool.
See, I can do hard shit.
I can do hard shit.
Yes.
Sorry, I just knocked myself out there. Anyway.
I love that. Well, I feel like we could go on, umpteen dozen tangents with mindset and, because we could chit chat all day long, because, I have the good fortune of having Krissi in my life. I don't know if we didn't show this at the very beginning, but Krissi and I both were from Seattle, and we both moved on the very same day to where we are now here in Idaho. And it's been such a gift to be able to bring one of your favorite people with you to a new place and just, have this new life and be able to accomplish and do these new things together and explore and experience, and also find those moments that are hard as shit and figure out how you can find the solution, right? Like, how are you going to accomplish whatever you want to do? And, for me, that was, why would I start a podcast? Is anyone going to listen to me? And how I, don't have time, and all this negative. And Krissi's like, let's pull it out. Let's pull it out. You've got so much that you get to educate people on. And, so having somebody like that in my life, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I feel like we've got a really, really great community here that's wildly supportive. I've never met more supportive people in my life than I have here in this community.
100% agree.
Right? It's just like
amazing.
Instantaneous. So I really do. And this is just also a reflection back to, speaking of tangents, if you find that you constantly are just swirling in this, like, I can't mentality, whirl of negativity constantly, and you just are like, I can't this, I can't that. Take inventory of who you surround yourself with and what you allow your mind to be indoctrinated with, if you will. I know that's such a trigger word right now, but what I mean by that is who you follow on social media, what comes across on your social feeds, what you ingest, what you're reading, but most importantly, the people that you surround yourself with. That old saying that, you surround yourself with 5 healthy people, you will be number 6. Surround yourself with 5 wealthy people, you will be the 6. Yep. Surround yourself with 5 negative people, you will be number 6.
That's right.
5 unhealthy people, you will be that 6th one. And it's so true, and it's so powerful. So again, I'm just grateful to have you as a friend, but also as an inspiration to, fulfill the things that I really want and draw it out of me to make sure that I'm serving with authenticity and with purpose versus a selfish solution, right? And I know that it's okay to be selfish when you really need to get to the root of your why. And it's okay to be selfish if that is a true need to fulfill something and it's selfish, that's okay, right? As
Mhm.
long as it's not harming other people and it's not a vanity thing, right?
No.
Like you're not trying to do something so you can have like, the coolest Lambo on the block, or, a hoity-toity purse. Like who gives a shit, right?
Yeah,
Like think
nobody
about
gives
the
a shit.
things that are wholesome, right? And so, taking inventory of your surroundings makes such a big impact. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Krissi, this was awesome. I feel like we could go on for like hours about all these different things and draw on the gymnastics thing, and even just because you brought up the scale and how it's such a tool and that's such a fear factor for a lot of people. But
Mhm.
I think you were able to nourish and understand where the root of that nope, not doing it came from, and address it and have a healthier mindset around it being a tool in
Right.
your adult life
Yes.
versus a negative experience because you had so many negative experiences behind it. So
Yep.
that could be anything, right? That could be our,
Oh yeah.
negativity around money, or, the ability to be something, or be, the vice president of whatever you want in your
Yep.
career, or to start a business and be an entrepreneur. So
Yep.
some really cool tools. So thank you for sharing everything you did. I hope you guys were able to kind of take notes, or just mental note to, and I want you guys to think about the words that you say. And
Please.
I encourage you guys to do what Krissi suggested, and that free flow writing exercise. Just brain dump anything and everything on a piece of paper, whether you feel like you have anything to say or not. And it doesn't have to
Mhm.
be around a certain subject, right?
No, it does not. It
Anything.
doesn't even have to be grammatically correct. Just dump what's in your brain and see the patterns and
And
then
take a
bring them.
picture of it.
Yes.
Yeah, take a picture of it, and be and own it. And if there's things in there that you need to change, then you need to find those solutions. You need to find the way to get out and above and beyond it, so you can have those rewards and you be able to reap the benefits of it. So
100%.
Krissi, you're amazing. I can't wait to have other people hear this and experience you and the delight that I get to on a day to day. So I feel so grateful that we're here and doing this together and living life, our best
Living
life.
life.
I'm so
Oh,
proud of you guys. You got to go check out CheekyBoom. I'm going to leave her Instagram and ways that you can follow and find Krissi. Her jewelry just is such a statement piece of just it's hard to explain until you see and take in the words. She
mhm.
puts so much heart and thought into every word that comes with her cards. So you guys got to go check them out. They make amazing hostess gifts for your cousin, your best friend, your neighbors, even for, the teenage girls in your life. They're just
Absolutely.
really, really powerful pieces, in my opinion. And I know you've got so much coming down the line in
Yes.
the second quarter of this year. It's going to be amazing, and something really special come around Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. So you guys will have to follow Krissi so you can check out what she's got available for you guys. But Krissi, thank you. You're amazing. And I know I'll be talking to you probably in the next 30 seconds after we end.
Probably. Thank you so much. It was pure joy for being here, and I hope I helped everybody listening. That's
You,
always my goal, to
you're
serve.
the bomb diggity. All right, girl. Have a
Anyway,
great rest of your day. And you guys, thank you so much for listening. If you found something of value, if this was something that just kind of spoke to your heart, we would be honored if you would share it. You can tag myself and Krissi in your screenshot. We want to share the message with anyone and everyone that we think can make an impact. So we can allow other people to see that there is hope and that there is great opportunity to fulfill all your dreams and wishes. So with that, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll look forward to seeing you or hearing you on the next podcast. Take care.